Hey there, island dreamers, locals, and anyone craving a slice of paradise. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time, to the Fun in Key West podcast, where the vibe is always laid back, the stories are salty, and the drinks, well, they're definitely frozen. I'm your host, Michelle O'Connor, your unofficial tour guide to the Conch Republic. Whether you're planning your first trip, your fifth trip, or you're just daydreaming about trading the cubicle for the ocean breeze, you are in the right place. Here's the deal. This podcast is your insider's guide to all things Key West. We're talking where to eat, hello, conch fritters and key lime pie, where to drink, spoiler alert, there will be rum, where to stay, and all the quirky, wonderful things that make Key West the one-of-a-kind paradise we all love. Plus, we'll keep you up to date on the latest happenings, festivals, events, maybe even the occasional Hemingway lookalike sighting. And just to keep things spicy, we'll be bringing on some amazing guests now and then, locals, business owners, and people who know the island like the back of their sandy hand. So grab your flip-flops, pour yourself a cold one, and let's escape to the island state of mind together, whether you're tuning in from your hammock or your commute, while wishing it was a hammock. We've got all the Key West goodness coming your way. Thanks for being here. It's going to be a lot of fun in Key West. Let's dive in. Hey there, cocktail enthusiasts. Michelle here with Fun in Key West, and boy, do I have a treat for you today. We're not just talking about drinks. We're talking about history in a glass. That's right. This episode is all about the iconic cocktails of Key West, because nothing says island vibes like sipping a rum runner where rum runners once roamed. See what I did there? Anyway, from the origins of the mojito to the key lime pie martini, that's basically dessert in a glass, we're digging deep into the stories behind these delicious concoctions and their ties to the Florida Keys. Warning, you may never look at happy hour the same way again. And because this is way too tasty and fun just to fit into one episode, I have information linked in the show notes, so be sure to check those out. Grab a glass, get comfy, and join me for a little Key West history, one sip at a time. This episode is going to be equal parts fun and fascinating. Cheers to that. Welcome back to another episode of Thirsty Thursday. I am Michelle with Fun in Key West, and it's another episode of Thirsty Thursday. And today we're talking history in a glass. I know, what a weird, what? Michelle, what are you talking about? Let's talk about some of the iconic cocktails that you can find in Key West and give us a little history, and some of them actually tie back to Key West. So let's give an overview of the experience in Key West first. You know that when you come to Key West that you have the main drag or the main street, which is Duval. And there are tons of bars and restaurants up and down Duval. And so you can explore all of these, any of these, some of these, one of these, whatever you want to do, just do it, with caution. But as you explore some of these places, there are some iconic drinks that keep coming up. And I thought, I bet it'd be interesting to tie back the history of these drinks and figure out where they came from. Some of this may be accurate, some of it may not be. So just say, hey, Michelle, totally off base. Just let me know. Put it in the comments or DM me. I'm good with it. First, let's start with the Rum Runner. One of my favorite places to get this drink at is the Speakeasy, the Rum Bar, down on the southern side of Duval. And this was created back in the 1950s at the Holiday Isle Tiki Bar in Island Murata. Yep, so it's a Florida Keys drink. It's named after the rum running activities during the Prohibition, where smugglers transported rum from the Caribbean to the U.S. through the Florida Keys. So that's why it's called a rum runner. And it was actually invented, supposedly, to use up excess rum and liqueurs before the new inventory arrived. So I guess it's that, what I call the meatloaf cocktail. The meatloaf is whatever's left over in your refrigerator goes in the meatloaf and then you make it. So maybe it's that. We use up what we have, and then when fresh supplies come in, we start all over again. Typically, this drink includes a light and a dark rum, banana liqueur, blackberry liqueur, orange juice, pineapple juice, and grenadine. Doesn't that sound yummy? Actually, I'm thinking that wouldn't be a bad breakfast drink. But anyway, This connecting this back to Key West, it's all about that prohibition rum running that came through the Florida Keys, and how close the Florida Keys are to the Caribbean. It's the central hub for those runners. Another one that you're going to see quite a bit is the key lime pie martini. I think Lazy Dogs has some over there, and a lot of places offer their version of a key lime pie martini. And this is a cocktail, obviously inspired by a key lime pie. And of course, key lime pie, we know, was invented in Key West. Now, should I say invented or created? I'm going to go with invented because I think it's an absolute modern gem. We're not 100% sure where the key lime pie martini originated. Again, New York, like they think they created the key lime pie, they think they created the martini, but there are other sources that say it came in through the Florida Keys. Well, we don't know. But if you've had a key lime pie martini, these are absolutely yummy and fantastic. It usually has vanilla vodka, key lime juice, and some cream, so you get that creaminess and that texture. And sometimes if you're getting ultra fancy and you do this at home, I've done this, is you put that graham cracker crust around the rim to mimic the pie crust. So you get that graham cracker taste with the key lime. Of course, it pays homage to the key lime pie, so of course we have a Key West connection, and it's traditionally made out of local key limes and sweetened condensed milk, so that's why you have the cream and the key lime juice. Obviously, if you are not able to get key lime juice, you can use regular lime juice, but it's just not going to quite have that taste. You can buy bottled key lime juice in most grocery stores these days, or go online and order it from Kermit's, and you can get it shipped straight to your door. Another one, and we talked about this before, you can actually learn how to make these in Key West at First Legal Rum, is the mojito. Now, this originated in Havana, and it's actually has roots, what I found, which dates back all the way to the 16th century. Wow. According to my research, I don't know how accurate this is, but it was initially consumed or drank for medicinal purposes. I think if you go back and look, a lot of alcohol was supposedly consumed initially for medicinal purposes, but the mojito was consumed to help prevent scurvy and dysentery among sailors. I'm not sure if I would want a bunch of sailors having a bunch of mojitos and then sailing around the world, but that's what research shows. And it evolved from a drink that was known as El Drake, which was named after the English sea captain, Sir Francis Drake. So he must have had limes and mint and stuff on board and created some version. Usually these drinks have white rum, fresh lime juice, mint leaves, some sugar, and then they're sometimes topped off with soda water. And obviously, to connect this back to Key West, you've got the Cuban influence and all of that 90 miles from Cuba, so you have that full influence. And like I said before, you can go take a class to learn how to make one. Some of these other ones are tropical drinks, but not necessarily associated with Key West, but they are very popular in Key West because it just feels like we're on a tropical island somewhere. And I think these are deserving of a little shout out. The first one is a pina colada. And this one was actually created in San Juan, Puerto Rico, with claims both from the Hilton Hotel in 1954 and a restaurant there in Puerto Rico in 1963. The Hilton claims that they created the first one, and we'll just go with the fact that it was created in Puerto Rico. And it's a fabulous drink. It includes white rum, coconut cream, pineapple juice, and then it's blended all nice and soft, all nice and soft, or not soft. It's blended and it's all nice and creamy with ice. An interesting fact, and I did not know this, in 1978, the pina colada was declared the official drink of Puerto Rico. I guess I'm gonna have to go to Puerto Rico and check that out. And the next one is the Mai Tai. It was created in 1944 by Victor J., or Trader Vic, in Oakland, California. And the name Mai Tai is derived back to the Tahitian word Mai Tai, meaning good or excellence. And if you think back in the 40s, their tiki bars and all of that became the rage because you had veterans coming back from World War II who had been over to the South Pacific, and they were exposed to some of these interesting drinks and flavors and foods and culture. And we had that whole tiki renaissance, and everybody was at a tiki bar trying to set things on fire and doing all those really cool things. And so, of course, drinks had to be made to mimic those flavors. And in a Mai Tai, you have rum, lime juice, orgeat syrup, which is like an almond syrup, and orange Curaçao. And of course, I think we know this, but I found this interesting. The Mai Tai is actually, I think, the number one drink or the iconic symbol of tiki culture, and that gained its full popularities in the 50s and 60s, and especially in Hawaii. So if you go visit Hawaii, you're going to see Mai Tais everywhere. So that's my history in a glass for Thirsty Thursday this week. And I think this is an interesting thought. So that when you're in there in Duval and wandering down and you order a rum runner, now you have an idea of, this really does harken back to the Florida Keys and has some history and a connection to the place I'm sitting and enjoying this drink. Key lime pie martinis brings you back to a full slice of key lime pie. I'm thinking a slice of key lime pie and a key lime martini might be too much key lime. So maybe it's a slice, maybe it's a key lime pie martini and a frozen chocolate dipped slice of key lime pie so that you cut the sweetness with chocolate. I'm just throwing that out there. I am Michelle with Fun in Key West, and I need you to head over to FunInKeyWest.com, sign up for our newsletter. And Michelle, how do I do that? Oh, you sign up and grab our happy hour list. That gets you on our newsletter, and that gets you in the know and up to date with everything happening with Fun in Key West, as well as what's happening in Key West. You guys have a great Thursday. Share your drinks. What are you drinking today for Thirsty Thursday? Let me know in the comments or send me a DM. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thanks for joining me on this boozy little journey into Key West's cocktail history. Who knew happy hour could be so educational, right? Whether it's a rum runner with a side of Prohibition lore or a key lime pie martini that's basically, dessert in a glass, or a mojito with roots older than Florida itself, these drinks are more than just tasty. They're little stories in a glass, capturing the spirit, pun intended, of Key West's colorful past. So think about it, a rum runner, born in the Florida Keys, inspired by rum smugglers during Prohibition, because of course it was. For when you can't decide between dessert or a drink, why not try both with a key lime pie martini? And the OG sailor cure for scurvy that evolved into every breezy-kissed patio's best friend? Well, of course, it's the mojito. And hey, whether it's a classic pina colada or a retro Mai Tai, there's always a reason to raise a glass in paradise. If you're already thirsting for more, good news, I've linked a full list of ideas in the blog post in the show notes, so be sure to check that out. But wait, there's more. Make sure to sign up for our happy hour list at FunInKeyWest.com. It's the ultimate cheat sheet for Key West best drinks, eats, and deals because, be honest, life's just better with a cold drink in hand and a plan in place. Like this episode if you love cocktails with a side of history. Share it with your drink-loving crew, especially that one friend who turns into a mojito connoisseur every summer. And let me know your go-to Key West cocktail or favorite drink spot. I'm always looking for research opportunities. Thanks for sipping and learning with me today. Until next time, keep exploring, keep toasting, and as always, keep it Key Westy.